What's going on, YouTube family? My name is Drew, and in today's video, we're talking about my Invisalign journey.
Today's video, talking about Invisalign.
So for those of you who don't know what these little fuckers are, they're called Invisalign. Now basically Invisalign are these clear 3D printed trays that move your teeth just as efficiently as braces, but a lot of times quicker and you can't see them. Now you may be thinking,
Drew, now that sounds too good to be true. Why would anyone ever want to get braces if they have this option?
like all good things in life, there's always a catch. Now in many cases, Invisalign is not a good option for teeth correction. Now this is usually dedicated to movements that are very extreme, really severe overbite or underbite cases, and teeth alignment movements that are just a little bit more difficult to handle. And that's what traditional braces are for. Now with my Invisalign journey, it was a little bit different. I didn't necessarily have a terribly crooked smile. I just had a gap in the top and the bottom of my teeth, and it really did take a toll on me. You know, I remember taking pictures with my friends and even just smiling and being so self-conscious that people were looking at my smile and judging me, even though it's so stupid, over just something you can't change, like your teeth. That really took a toll on me, so I ended up deciding to look for braces treatments. And I didn't want to go with the traditional braces route because, you know, everyone had that 7th and 8th grade phase where they went through braces. I was in high school. I didn't want to have all this metal in my mouth. And so I looked towards Invisalign because I had heard from a buddy who was going through the treatment that they were clear and you couldn't see them. So it didn't look like you had braces, but you were getting the same results as braces. Now, the first step you want to take when you think that you might find Invisalign a good option for you is to see an orthodontist. And now I say orthodontist, that is a lot different than a dentist. See, orthodontists go to school for an extra 4 years than dentists do just to focus on the beauty of teeth movement. A lot of times, dentists don't have any idea what the fuck they're doing. Now, I'm not saying that all dentists don't, but what dentists focus mostly on is teeth cleaning, cavity removal, wisdom teeth removal, and other more technical skills. Now, I'm saying this because I've had friends who have tried to get Invisalign and braces through dentists, and they've had decent results, but it's the little movements and the things that the dentists don't particularly pay attention to that is crucial. And so there's a lot of different options out there. I'm sure you've heard of a thing called Smile Direct Club. It's really big right now. But another reason why I would actually recommend Invisalign through an orthodontist is because you're not getting that supervision and the vision that the orthodontist has for your teeth with the product. So Smile Direct, basically you get clear retainers shipped to your home and you use those to align your teeth. But there's a lot of situations, even in a minor case like mine, where I had to go to the orthodontist to put attachments on, which I'll talk about later, and a file between my teeth, which hurt like a bitch to get the certain movements that they were looking for. So basically what I did is I set up an appointment with a local orthodontist. I went in, I had a consultation, and that's when we decided that I qualified for the Invisalign treatment. Now after that, they sent me to a room to scan my teeth to get a visual representation of how my teeth looked now and what the movement would do in order to get a picture perfect smile. Now, a lot of orthodontists like to give you an estimate of how long it takes. Usually their estimations are a little too optimistic, so I was told that 6 months was all it would take to correct my teeth, but really it took about 8 to 9 months. Now, still I was okay with this. This is way quicker than braces, and no one saw it, so I wasn't in a rush as much as I would have been if you could see these bad boys, but I was still ready to be done with the treatment. The first week of Invisalign treatment, my orthodontist told me that it was like a preset. So in a lot of cases, they have to put on attachments, which is something I didn't know they did. So basically what attachments are, they're little squares that they'll put on designated teeth. So sometimes you get them on your front teeth, sometimes you'll get them on your side teeth. And they're just small, transparent white squares that are basically like glued onto your teeth to give more strength to your teeth and to the trays to allow them to pull even stronger. People also ask, do you feel the Invisalign trays in your teeth? The answer is yes and no. They are a little bit sharp sometimes on the edges of the trays, but really you get used to that over time. You won't notice them in your teeth after having them in there 22 hours a day. It's something you kind of get used to. And that also leads into another question. People ask if you get a lisp when you have the retainers. And this really varies on case by case. For me, I think I might have had a slight lisp when I first started getting Invisalign, just because it's plastic in your mouth, so you're not really used to having like a foreign object constantly in your mouth, if you know what I'm saying. Also at first, it is a little bit of a learning curve, but once you get adjusted to that, I sounded the exact same with my retainers in and out. And so that's not a big deal. After my first week of pre-movements, that's when I went into the orthodontist, put on the attachments, and then we really started treatment. So my treatment was a little bit different than the standard Invisalign treatment. So traditionally, when you get your Invisalign trays, you get a new set of trays every 2 weeks, and they collectively start moving your teeth in small movements to get them to that final picture. Now, what my orthodontist did is instead of putting trays in every 2 weeks, we did every week. So basically it cut the time in half that my teeth would get to where they needed to be, and it made the process way quicker. So I went week to week and I slowly saw progression of my teeth, and I was loving it. I mean, I saw results so quick, and I just thought this was the coolest thing. After my treatment had finished, after all my trays were done, I went to the retention stage. Now, a lot of people ask about the retention stage. After you're finished with all of your aligners, your teeth are straight and perfect, and all your attachments are taken off. They give you a clear set of retainers like these that are just like Invisalign. What I had to do was wear them for a month straight, just like I did my regular trays, and then I went nightly. And yes, unfortunately, you have to wear these trays every night for the rest of your life. Really, you can skip a few days and you'll be okay, but teeth are stubborn, man. Like, your teeth will always want to move back to that original state, so it's crucial that you do wear your retainers. Trust me, it's not that big of a deal. I am not organized at all. I lose shit all the time, and this has been an easy step for me. It just feels satisfying knowing that your teeth are sitting in place when you have the retainers in, and for me, it's just a good feeling.
I don't know, maybe I'm a weirdo.
And then on forward, I was good to go. Every week I would have checkups with my orthodontist to make sure they were moving, and I was rolling on my path to straight teeth. Now, a common question people might ask with Invisalign is, does it hurt? And the answer is no and yes. So initially, every time you get a new tray, your teeth are gonna be sore for a few days. And sometimes, like with my treatment, how I went every week instead of every 2 weeks, they were very sore. Anytime you eat, you have to take your trays out. And so a lot of times I'd notice within the first couple of days when I got my new trays and they were doing a new movement with my teeth would be super sore. So I couldn't eat a lot of hard foods. I'd have to eat softer foods and smoothies and protein shakes. That's really the only pain that you get from the trays. Now, I don't know if all orthodontists or dentists do this, but with my treatment, I'd have to come in sometimes and I'd have to get my teeth sanded in between. That shit hurt like a bitch. So basically I'd go in and my orthodontist would lay me back on the chair, and then I'd be back and he'd get the sandpaper and he'd go between my gums and basically have to sand down. God, even just talking about it makes me cringe. And he'd have to sand down between my teeth in order to kind of get rid of some rough edges or some areas of teeth so they could kind of combine together. And there's a lot of times that my gums would start bleeding. And so that was painful, but look, beauty is pain, baby.
Beauty is pain.
Now, another common question people ask is, how long do you have to wear the trays every day? And what my orthodontist told me was 22 hours. So basically you have 2 hours every day where you don't want your trays in, and that's usually allowed for eating. When I first got my Invisalign treatment, I would literally carry around a Tupperware with my toothbrush and toothpaste. So every time I went out to eat somewhere, I would take my trays out, I would eat my food, then I'd go straight to the bathroom, brush my teeth, and put my trays back in. And as time went on, I kind of got more lazy with it, but I recommend carrying like a small travel toothbrush around, and so you can have that quick option. Otherwise, you'd have to take your trays out, eat, and then wait to put them back in, because you don't want to put them back in when you have all the food in your mouth. It can make a really like nasty environment for all that plaque and lead to cavities. And so I recommend to always keep your trays in as much as possible. Only when you're eating, to have them out, and then make sure to get them back in, just to make this whole Invisalign journey way more quick and efficient so you can be done with the treatment. Now, a downside to Invisalign, and a lot of people touch on this, is something called the Invisalign Diet. So basically you're gonna have to say goodbye to snacking. Reason being is because it's just too damn inconvenient to always have to brush your teeth right after you eat, brush the trays and put them back in. So it's gonna limit the amount of time that you're allowed to have the trays out, which means you're not gonna be able to snack as much unless you're willing to brush your teeth every time right afterwards. And now also another downside to Invisalign is, yes, they are super clear. And if you don't have a bunch of attachments on every tooth, which is something I would recommend, and make sure that you don't have to have that, because and then at that point they're pretty noticeable and you might as well get braces, is that you have to drink clear liquids. If you don't drink clear liquids and you have your Invisalign retainers in, they're gonna stain and they're gonna be pretty visible. So that's another thing to bear in mind if you're thinking about going this route. I would highly recommend this treatment to anyone. I mean, for my personal experience, it was amazing. People ask about the price, and to be honest, Invisalign, they are expensive. They're several $1,000s, anywhere from $2,000 to $6,000, depending on how severe your case is. What you have to weigh out is, do you personally value the visual aspect or the practical aspect? It really just, it's a case-by-case thing. Sometimes it'd be more practical to actually go braces or Invisalign, depending on what movements you want for your teeth. You will have to pay a little bit of a premium for Invisalign under an orthodontist care, but that's gonna be your best route to get a perfect smile. So you have to weigh out, is it worth paying the extra money to be able to have the luxury of not seeing your teeth being moved day in and day out, interactions with other people. Yeah, that's it. That was my journey. I tried to answer some common questions that a lot of people have about Invisalign, but I know I haven't answered all all of them. So I'll leave my email down in the description. If you're thinking about getting Invisalign, if you have Invisalign, if you have any thoughts and concerns, whatever it may be, shoot me an email and I'll respond as quickly as I can. Overall, I love the Invisalign experience. I recommend it anytime. And the product sells itself. I mean, these things are so amazing and it made the experience so awesome for me. No one ever noticed and I just got my teeth corrected. I'm just so happy with the overall experience. So if you like this video, go ahead and hit a thumbs up if you're feeling generous. And thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you next time. Love you.